So we're a little behind schedule today, I would say. Also, my guest speaker, Tiffany, who is amazing, she is feeling sick today. So, she rescheduled for a couple weeks from now, which is totally fine. We will have our discussion about healing and living through trauma, which I'm so excited for that discussion with Tiffany. She will be live with me in a couple of weeks. Hopefully she's feeling better. And it all worked out because one of my calls this morning went over a little bit, but it was all great discussions. As you can see, I'm losing this baby. She's like falling. So today we're just going to go impromptu, thrive over survive topic training. So it'll be a live training. I'll do Q&A. Ooh, look at that. You lost your bubba. We're going to do a conversation about why operations is underrated in many people's businesses. And that's going to be the key. Oh gosh, everyone's just this is very impromptu. This is very, we're going with the flow today. Let me resituate the baby. Lila, right? Do you have something to say? Yeah. Lila's like, no. So we're going to talk about why operations is usually underrated in a business and why you should be focusing on it if you want to have time freedom in your business. And there's a lot of aspects for that. So I know a lot of people who start their online business or start their side hustle, and their big goal is to have time freedom, to live this laptop lifestyle. And so what they don't, what some people aren't saying or they don't realize is the tech. Sometimes it's the tech, but mostly it's the operations is what's going to get you that time freedom that you're looking for in your business. So that comes with a lot of things like taking your business seriously and looking at your business, your side hustle, your online business, maybe your product-based business, whatever it is, and really having that mindset shift of this is a business, this is not a hobby for me, I am serious about this, and then you're going to get the time freedom because it's not always just, set it and forget it. It happens overnight, and you see all these success stories of people who live this lavish lifestyle and have the time freedom that like everyone's eyeballing or wants when they start their business. So we're going to talk about, operations is the way for you to do that. Operations and systems specifically. And there's a little bit of mindset component in there as well. But these people who you see doing all that are people who trust their systems, trust their people. They've built up a business that has automation, has streamlined processes, and who have employees or people in place that they can trust, and they're no longer the bottleneck of their business. A great resource who talks about this, and I love, is Mike Michalowicz. Now you're like, Emma, that's the Profit First guy. Yes, I know. He has a book now. It's called Clockwork, and it talks a lot about this. I'm only halfway through the book, but Zach and I have talked about it because he's finished the book like always. He's always ahead of me. Hi, Julie. So Mike Michalowicz, his book Clockwork has a lot of these subjects, and then also Tim Ferriss talks a lot about the 4-hour work week. I don't agree fully with Tim Ferriss's methods all the time. If you read the book, you guys will know what I'm talking about. He has great ideas, great subjects, and great things to think about that make you think about your business in a different way and really pushes the envelope, which I think is great. But everything he talks about in that 4-hour work week book is about having a team and outsourcing and getting yourself into the position where you can work 4 hours and you don't really know. Like, he has a quote in there that says, you don't know, I'm going to butcher it, but you don't know that you can work that time frame unless you have to, because the whole premise of his book was he had to basically work in a shortened time period because he was burning out. He was all over the place, wasn't healthy for him. So really, to achieve this like freedom in his business or from his business, really your business is the tool to your freedom. That's what I try to tell my clients is, and what I realized in my own business, hey, move your hand, is your business is the tool to the time freedom and the financial freedom that will give you what you want. So how do you do that? You have people, you have systems in place to help you do that. And you're like, well, maybe you're thinking, I can't financially do that. I'm not ready for that. Biggest myth ever. You need to think like that from the get-go. That is one of the biggest things I've learned and how I've been able to scale my business as quickly as I have. More coming up in the new framework that I'm going to be posting about. Not new, it's just I've redone my framework and the methodology that I help my clients through. And it's all about standardizing your business with your offer, with your processes. What's the standard current state? How do we continuously improve your processes, improve what you have in place, improve your team, your communication? There's a lot that people aren't talking about that falls under operations because it is such a big piece of every business, to help you set up those personal automations, those back end pieces that no one sees that makes your business run the way you want it to run, so that you're not constantly being the one doing everything. And as the CEO of your business, or as the leader of your business, or the thought leader that you might be, is why you're going to need that. And a lot of people, they like their eyes glaze over when I tell them that operations are like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. But if you set up your operations from the get-go, and start documenting SOPs when it's just you and how you do things, it's going to be a lot easier than when you reach capacity. So it's very underrated. It's not talked about as much. But it is definitely the key to having that time freedom that every business owner so desires, and having that mindset of not becoming the bottleneck of your business. So I always tell people when they're building things, like, document it out. It doesn't have to be clean. It doesn't have to be pretty. And a lot of the clients that I've worked with in building out their ClickUp headquarters or their virtual space, the key problem with their communication on their team is there's just no centralized place for their trainings or their SOPs, or there's a miscommunication with the instructions. So it's very simple little things that are going to make the biggest impact in your business. And when I work with clients who are, at multi 6 figures, almost 7, really at that point, what they're trying to do is make things as efficient as possible. Like, you can get so far with piecemealed systems or piecemeal tech or piecemealed instructions, but if you're trying to scale to have a big business, you're going to need really simple, really easy systems, processes, SOPs. And if anyone doesn't know what an SOP is, it's standard operating procedures. And that is so crucial, especially in the multi 6 figures, is you're going to have a team. You want to have a place where they can learn everything easily and make not only your user experience for your customers, but your user experience for your team to be amazing, so that you can build that buy-in for your people. Because Zach and I were just having this conversation the other day. He's had some less than awesome, stellar employees come through in the past couple of months with his new business. And it's all stems back from they don't have buy-in like he does for this business, and how big it's going to be and how much it can benefit them. And I was like, babe, people don't think like you and I do. That's why we're the CEOs. That's why you're the CEO. So anyone watching this, like if you're frustrated with team members, because I've had this conversation with countless of my clients, is they don't sometimes always have the buy-in. So how do you get people to feel valued in your business and your organization? Because when you're making multi-six figures or beyond, it's all going to be about that team structure, that team hierarchy, that culture that you're building. And that's very difficult hurdle to overcome, is what kind of culture am I building for a team that's remote? It's been a very interesting discussion to have with a lot of the CEOs that I work with. But for anyone who's on more the beginning spectrum, you can start building that even when it's just you, so that you have the habits, the information. You're never going to be the bottleneck, so you can prevent a lot of those problems that I see come with people who, and sometimes it's just like they grow too quickly. But once they hit that certain point, they're at a capacity, they're overwhelmed, they're burnt out, they're stressed out, they're missing things. Their brain is pulled in so many different directions. So how do you centralize that, and how do you prevent that from happening? It's documenting it, making things simple from the get-go, and practicing that mindset of, I'm the CEO of this business. This is what I need to do. So when you do have a team member come on, you have that instructions and you have that understanding in place. And a lot of the times, when I'm working with bigger entrepreneurs, they forget what it's like when what they are so used to doing the thing or doing the process, that they forget how to explain it to someone who's never done it. So, that's always a good mindset to have, is when you want to treat people like they don't know anything, because it's better to assume that like they don't know what you know. I mean, that's true, they don't know what you know, but it's better to assume that they don't know as much as you think they do, because it's better to over-explain than under-explain, and that leads to a lot of problems and communication issues. Even with a lot of this stuff, what I'm talking about can apply to working with contractors. Like when I say team, it doesn't mean you have full-time or part-time employees, because a lot of the people I work with, their whole team are contractors or service-based business owners who have other clients as well. So it's like, then how do they juggle all of that? And that's what I help them pinpoint, help them map out. But I've gotten on like this tangent of operations and trainings, but the main point of it is that to have your time freedom and financial freedom, you're going to want to look at the systems you're putting in place, the processes you have, and really focus on your operations from day one, and not just when you hit multi-six figures as well. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions. I'm happy to answer anything if I see comments. If you're watching the replay and have questions or comments like specific to your business, because I'm also a firm believer of operations is custom to you, please drop them in the chat, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And this was my impromptu live since we had a guest switcheroo. So Tiffany will be on in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about healing, but that is kind of my impromptu why operations is underrated and why it really should be the forefront of your business if you're trying to run a business that allows you to have freedom and really time freedom for yourself, for your family, for the life you want to live. And I hope everyone has a great Wednesday, and I will talk to y'all soon.